I've been asked several times now, which one do I like better? The Traeger Ironwood XL or the Lone Star Pellet Grillz Smoker? And to be honest with you, one of these ribs came off of one of the ribs came off the other. If you can choose which one's which before the video starts, amen to you, because it's already tough for us. If you guys want to see which one's better, watch this. To get started, we have some ribs. The spare ribs is my absolute favorite. I like the whole thing about it. We typically don't trim them up into the St. Louis style. We like the whole spare rib. So to get started, I'm just going to get the product out of the package. I'm not necessarily going to pat them dry with blood or anything like that with paper towels. I'm just going to let the butcher paper do the work. I'm just going to come here really quick and just trim up some unnecessary stuff. I'm going to score the back side. I don't take it off. We don't find it necessary. And I don't do a lot of trimming. I actually like the ends when they get a little tough. We think it's like jerky. We are not particular at all. Looks pretty good to me. Alrighty, with these ribs, presentation side down first. And we're going to generously hit them with our Texas rub. We have that recipe on pelletsandpits.com. It's just my all-purpose rub. I like it. Pick any rub you want to. We're also going to top it off with that Q that. All right, now we get to let that seasoning penetrate the meat. Just leave it alone, let it do its thing, let that moisture sweat out and soak back in. The whole purpose of this video is something I've been anxious to do for a while. When we were talking about the Flat Top King and griddle cooking, it's extremely hard to make the same recipe on two different griddles and kind of do like a head-to-head comparison. It's really not, it's nowhere near fair. This is what I got going on here. We have emptied the dump of both pellet grills and completely emptied it of the pellets. We have also filled up both hoppers with Pit Boss charcoal blend pellets. I like them. You guys can rag on me if you want to. I think it's a great value and I like them. So what I did, I put 20 pounds roughly into each hopper, and that's going to be our pellet choice today. Then I started up our pellet grills, and we're going to hover around 250 degrees for this cook and try to see which one does better. That's the whole idea. We get a lot of comments on how do you like your Traeger? How do you like your Lone Star? Have you tried them side by side? How much smoke does a Traeger get? How much smoke does a Lone Star get? The only way that I can truly do this is try to be as fair as possible. So we've seasoned the ribs accordingly. I went a little bit heavy on the all-purpose, that Texas rub, and I went light on the Q. The point is, I want to try to taste which one, that I think. It's just a personal preference. You guys might, not like the pellet choice, or you might say cook at this temperature or whatever. Don't take too deep into this. This is the best I can do. I will show you this that I have thought of. I took my tape measure that I had from my wife. You guys know. And what I did was, I get a lot of comments on what rack do I cook on. Do I cook straight on the bottom rack, or I use a top rack a lot? And I was like, well, I do it both ways. I don't really think it matters. I don't get that deep into the science about it, but what I did was I measured from the bottom of the rack up. Woo, I told you it's cold outside. And I'm gonna say it's roughly 5 to 6 inches.
6 inches.
That's marked as 10 right there. That's 10 inches. All right, over here, it's about 5 inches, but this is on the top, okay? So I can't go any higher. So my thought process is, I just move this rack out just a little bit, kind of center it instead of all the way back. And I'm gonna use this top rack and this top rack both on this cook. That way they're up away from the heat source as much as possible. So the idea is we're looking at about a 6-hour cook. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to wrap or not. I might wrap about the 3 to 4 hour mark, maybe cook at 5 hours. I'm just going to try to cook the best ribs possible that I can make. And depending on the bark, depending on the color, depending on all that, will determine whether or not I actually wrap. I might wrap just to cool once I pull it off, just let all that moisture introduce itself and all that stuff. So we just won't know until we get there. All right, we're hitting about that 4.5 hour mark. I've been tipping my meat. I just rotated it probably a little bit longer than what I should have, but anyways. I'm gonna go ahead and pull them. About 185, 190, somewhere through there. So we're doing one at a time so we don't get them confused.
Boy, it smells good.
I already got my times mixed up. It's 3.5 hours, not 4.5 hours. All right, butcher paper spread out. I am going to wrap these. I've contemplated back and forth about how we're going to wrap them. Honey, brown sugar, butter, and all that stuff. And honestly, if the whole point of the video is just try to get like the smoke ring, the flavor profile, I want to keep it naked. So besides the seasoning we added when we started, that's all I've done besides just a couple spritz of apple cider concentrate vinegar. Same thing with the ribs, just keep them naked, just a light squirt. I don't want to overdo it. And then we're just going to wrap these up. Back on the pit it goes. Where I would recommend, or I would suggest, or I would think about another hour. Beautiful color as well. I'm actually surprised and not surprised. Man, that's good looking color. You can see the nice fat rendering. See those little pockets of fat? On they go again. So now we're just looking for probe tender. We're looking for that target temperature anywhere like 196, 203, somewhere through there. However long it takes to get there, we're gonna do that. Once we get to that temperature, the only thing I'm gonna do is just turn off the grills and let them rest for about an hour, hour and a half, somewhere through there. Just let the grills cool down naturally, and then we're gonna compare them side by side. Just checked with my probe. We've hit the target temperature of what I'm wanting. We're at about 188 to 192, somewhere through there. I know it seems like a little bit low on the scale, but we're not going to take the ribs off. We're going to keep the ribs on the grill. We're just going to literally shut down the grills. Just leave them alone. All right, I just pressed the cool down mode on that one as well. It's about that time. Alrighty, just so I didn't get them mixed up. Let's see, this is the Lone Star. Maybe.
You wrote on it, right?
I know, huh?
You wrote on it?
Well, just in case. Yeah. So I didn't get them mixed up. I did all that work. It's not a bad looking slab of ribs right there.
It smells delicious.
It looks delicious. And this is the Traeger. All right, so I'm new at the idea of like, comparing apples to apples, oranges to oranges. You're seeing the same thing I'm seeing. I've never done this before. Color-wise, I think they're spot on. Like, I mean, I think this might have just a hair more deeper browning. This might be a hair lighter. Like I said, I did everything exactly the same. If this one got spritz, this one got spritz. If this one got turned, this one got turned. And we held them on the grill. The one thing I can say, does not mean a hill of beans to anybody, is when I decided to turn off the grills, I had to do some stuff inside. When I came back to check the temperature, I was surprised that the Traeger ribs, these, were about 20 degrees cooler than these. Which means, my guess is, since the Traeger metal is thinner versus the thicker metal of the Lone Star, it was able to retain more heat for longer. Will that matter at the end? I doubt it, but I thought it was worth mentioning because so far, that's the only thing I can tell. So the first thing we're gonna do is slice in right in the middle and compare maybe the smoke ring. I don't know. Heck, let's find out something. Now, these were not sauced. These are not spritzed after they're wrapped. Nothing. So this is just straight rib. I know one thing, they smell great. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can see how juicy they are. God Lord, that thing's bubbling. It looks like the smoke ring is so big that it actually penetrated all the way to the bone. You can see right there the width of the meat. And then the Traeger, that looks the same. Juicy as can be too.
Looks the same, yeah.
Yeah. All right, any, mini, mo. I mean, that's a juicy rib. Does it matter which one you eat first?
I don't think so.
Well, good for me then. That's a damn good rib. That's a good rib.
Can't tell the difference.
No, I can't.
Very good.
You know, the one thing I like is the fact that you actually get to appreciate the rib for what it is. The pork comes through way more than what you expect. It's not drowning in seasoning. It's not drowning in salt. It's not drowning in like barbecue sauce or sweetness. It's pure smoked pork. I personally did not want to overdo it with my barbecue seasoning, for that same reason. I wanted to get the true, authentic taste. What say you?
Yeah, I think they both taste the same. Should we cut another? I mean, should we cut like another rib just to see?
Oh, I'm sure these ribs want to get cut tonight regardless.
Yeah.
Spare rib's my favorite, bar none. I mean, they're just dripping. This one, same thing. So, look at this one over here.
I know, it's hard to tell with the light. It won't. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. I can't taste the difference. Now, you might say, well, why do you have one smoker or the other? Because I think that's what cooking's all about. You know, you don't know until you try. And that's what these videos are about, to give you guys as much information as possible. I still think that the Lone Star itself has more capabilities. It's more set up for long-term success. You're able to do more things with it. You can open the flame and get flame kissed. You got the charcoal baskets. You got the plancha. You got different sizes. It's more cooking space, but that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is, can you throw 2 slabs of ribs on, in my opinion, 2 slabs of ribs on each grill and get a difference so much where it's like, oh yeah. I think the proof's in the pudding. I can't. Even if I was blindfolded, I don't think I can tell the difference. I can't tell the difference eating it, knowing which one came from there. But you know what? That's what this channel is all about. I was super excited to do this video. I've been just waiting to do something similar to this, and I'm excited. And I think that's really what it's all about. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to press that subscribe button, pound the notification button, share with your friends. Till next time, peace.
Those are good ribs.
I'm chowing down.